Okay, so first we're gonna do C-spine. So which lateral do we do? Left. Yep, left. Second with 72-inch SIDY. Wake up, people.
OID.
Yeah, why?
Magnification.
Yes, because of the OID, when they're compensating for the OID.
Excited. Thank you.
Yeah, I said both. I said OID.
Yeah, the heart's not
I said
gonna be
OID first and she didn't say anything.
What bony landmarks did we say if we have it from here to here, we will get all cervical vertebrae?
Mastoid, 1 inch below EAM.
That is C1, so we don't want to put it on that, but if we put it in EAM, ear hole, EAM, then we're gonna get that. And then we know if the light goes down to T2, T3, which it's way down there, we definitely have all the cervical vertebrae. So we're at the right height, left marker. And what we need is the crosshairs behind the ear. So take a little step forward. Does that look good? So behind the ear, that's more centered towards the spine if you go behind the ear. And I know some people like to make it pretty and to collimate, and when you do this, then you can collimate in some. No?
Yes.
Okay, it makes it super pretty, and any collimation's gonna increase contrast. So I'm gonna make sure my marker's in the light field, and then I'm gonna tell them what, take in a deep breath, blow it all the way out, hold it out, relax your shoulders, beep.
Does this head position matter?
It should be a little bit more
Okay.
straight, but his jaw's not gonna superimpose over that. Okay, so we did the lateral. Now what do we need? We're still at 72 inches and it's routine to do a swimmers.
Oh, swimmer.
Swimmers, because we're already at 72, so let's leave it there. So this arm up, way up over your head and try and drop that shoulder, go all the way against the board. Central raise at T1, so we're gonna drop it down a little bit. Okay, the shoulders relaxed, and we're gonna tell him to breathe normally. Long exposure time. That's our swimmers.
Does he need to go forward a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. The zoo, I'm out of it. It's the animals.
We're gonna be at
It
the
wasn't
zoo
last
next
night,
week.
it was the animals.
Yeah.
It wasn't last
It wasn't
night.
last night, it's the animals. Okay.
It wasn't
Beep.
Not at all.
Alright, relax.
And make up for all those beers you drank.
Okay, now we need obliques. What do we want to do, posterior or anterior?
Anterior.
Anterior. Okay, so if he's going to be in an anterior, an LAO, head looking almost 90 degrees, which way are we going to angle?
Down.
Down. And how much? 15. And let's see if this works with him.
For a can we do the other obliques?
Yeah,
Because
so we can't do this one on him.
You maybe
Because
posterior.
it's not going to, no, it's got to stay at 72. So let's just try the other way and do a PO and flip it around and angle cephalic.
oh, but that's hard too.
That works. Barely. But it works. If you have a patient and you try both, if either one of them work, use the rolly stool and have them sit in it. They're still erect, and it actually works better because then they're nice and sturdy and you can just roll them on there. But this one works on him. So you're going to turn your head to the left. Behind the ear. Hold your breath. Beep. Change your cassette. Other position, RPO. 45 degrees, head this way. Behind the ear.
Body 45, head 90.
Yep.
Nearly 90.
Beep. Okay, so those are both obliques. Now what do we need?
AP.
AP, at this point, you're gonna come into 40 inches. Because we don't have much OID. And now he is standing, go back up against there. So how much tube angle which way?
20.
20 cephalic. I was at 15, so we're gonna go 5 more. Enter on C4. Right marker. And I'm gonna check that line and make sure that it is perpendicular to the IR. So if you'll open your mouth a little bit. Incisors, base of the skull. It's perfect right there.
Wait,
Relax your mouth. I'm getting the bottom of his upper teeth. and the base of the
Okay.
skull, and I'm just looking at it, making a line with it right there, and it's
Okay.
straight across. If his head chin was down too much or head was back, that line wouldn't be parallel. Hold your breath, beep. And now we need no tube angle. I'll make down so you don't get it in the eyes. Okay, open mouth wide, wide, wide. Same line, tip back just a little bit, right there. Hold your breath, beep. Okay, don't try too hard on this one. If you keep going back, up, down, up, it just gets worse. Just tell them open it, do one little adjustment, and shoot it. Okay, so when we took this picture, we got the zygopapaseals, but we did not get the dens. What can we do? Fuchs, let's try a Fuchs. So he's in this position. So there's no tube angle, but we're gonna take the MML, mentomeatal line, and make it perpendicular to the IR. See that line right there? And I'm entering on the tip of the mandible. Perfect position right there, no tube angle, beep. Now, if he was old and crotchety, and he said, that's all I can do, I can't move my head back anymore, then we're gonna have to angle. And there's no number to it, but I'm doing this. And do you see how now
Yeah.
my line is perpendicular to the MML? Now my line's perpendicular, and that will do the same image. You just have to adjust for it. Got it. Okay, other one, what it looks like, the Judd, same thing, MML perpendicular, so chin way up. As close as you can to the board. And then we're gonna enter right here on mid-occipital bone. Board's gonna move, watch your chin. Left marker over there.
Sharpen.
B. Pull that for a comp, you'll be very happy. One deal. All right, interior of the collar. Okay, here you go. Okay, now if you lay on your back on the table. Here, let me try to get it, your head normal in it.
Sorry.
You're good.
There we go. This is the best part, watching them lay on their back. It's not easy. Very nice. All right, cassette holder. We're going to use a 10 by, or you can use a 14 by with a grid cap for comp purposes. If you're gonna use this size cassette, say grid cap, so that he knows you're actually going to use a grid cap. All right. What was the thing that we said, you can't really see C4, so what was the cheat? Top of the cassette,
Thought lower margin of the thyroid cartilage. Is that what it was?
top of the cassette, 2 inches above EAM. Remember that? Okay, well, for tomorrow you will remember that. So here's EAM, so I'm gonna put the cassette 2 inches above EAM. Here, I'm just going to line this up, get it set in all the vertical, center of the cassette. Okay. Lucky. So if you have the cassette where you want it, all you have to do is line the light up to it, right? Because the light's extremely distorted because of the shoulder out there. So as long as I have the cassette 2 inches above EAM and I have the light field on there. Another thing, make sure that you're penetrating behind the ear. You're not penetrating up here in the collar, so the crosshair is down low on his spine.
Behind his ear, right?
Yes, behind the ear.
And then is this someone that you want him to try to?
So when we're all set up and ready, we're gonna say, reach for your toes, stretch, both arms, stretch, 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 take a deep breath in, blow it out, hold it out, beep. That's the biggest mistake people make on this, is having this crosshair too high. Cause you can't see it, but it's gotta be behind the ear, on the spine. Okay,
Which marker did you use?
right, cause right shoulder's up against them. Kids are awfully quiet today.
Learning. Absorbing like a sponge.
Love Bob. Alright. T-spine. Oh, and another thing I didn't tell you on that lateral C-spine, I did this. Why was I pulling the table out this way?
72.
To try and get as much as possible. It's not gonna be 72, it's probably gonna be 60-ish, but as much as possible. Alright, T-spine, you look comfortable, so we'll just leave you there. 14 by. Thank you. Hold those in. Alright, 40 inches, 14 by 17, collimated in. Have to show some collimation. Actually, we'll take this off because we're covering your T. Alright, so what numbers do you have to get? C, 7 to L, 1. So we're just gonna use landmarks that we know. If I feel his xiphoid, that's what?
T9, T2.
9, 10, and jugular notch is 2, 3. So I want it a little bit above there. What is this? What number is that?
4, 5.
That's
L3.
2, 3. So we don't need down that far. So you're just kind of guessing. If you have a small person, it's easy. But if you have like a guy, it's a little bit more difficult. But you're guessing this right here is 2, 3. So you definitely have 1. This is 10. Most likely you have 12, but you don't need all the way down to 2, 3. So it's kind of a guessing. And even though this is stopping here, it's not really stopping there, right? It's down here. This isn't really there, it's up a little bit higher. So I'd say we're centered there. And the rule with the marker when you collimate in is to go halfway between midline and lateral margin. So you're gonna put the marker right
Put
there.
it top.
Or bottom. I mean, the T, we're just looking straight down.
Okay.
Can you just do like a
How'd you
chest
set up your
X-ray
line?
and collimate in?
What do you mean, how'd I set it up?
Centered it
It's a
inside.
guess. I said, here's 2, 3, and here's 9, 10. So if you center in between those,
Okay.
you're gonna get up here to 1, and you're gonna get down there to 12.
Like an AP chest, collimate.
Mm-hmm. It is, because they're both T7. We need to tell him to bend his knees, please, flex them. Why?
Oh, and
To make the spine more parallel with the IR, to visualize the intervertebral joint spaces. And we're gonna do what kind of breathing?
suspend,
On
inspiration.
Expiration.
expiration. Because when he takes a deep breath in, taking a deep breath, look at his
Diaphragm down.
abdomen. Gets larger, and then when you expel, it gets smaller, so we're trying to reduce the thoracic cavity. So expiration, beep. And change your cassette. You have to turn over onto your left side. Now we need a left marker. Left marker. I'm sure you guys noticed that the most important part of any of these lateral spines is positioning. So he's got to be lateral before you even try and do it, or it'll be rotated. So yeah, flex your knees so you're stable, and then put your hand on here and make sure he's lateral, which he feels pretty lateral. A lot of people feel like they're lateral and they're not. Gotta be super lateral there. And then you're not gonna get 1 and 2, so don't concern yourself too much with the top. We wanna do the lower. But if I had to find 7 again, here's inferior costal margin. Down a little bit lower, and it's a lateral T.
You use that thing.
Yep. Now, he doesn't have a whole lot of light there, but any of this that you can use is helpful. So I'm gonna put it right outside there to prevent burning out the spinous processes. Don't do this. What's the problem there?
You can-
You're under them, yeah, and you're gonna cut off spinous process. So you wanna show that you're blocking it, but not be under them.
You use points if we don't use them.
Yeah.
Okay.
have to do it on lateral L spines too, so just get.
He's only asking because he's never seen one before.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
Nobody's ever seen it? I mean, have you ever used a shield to do it? Nobody's ever done it.
No.
Okay.
Never done
It
laying
really
down.
seriously makes a difference.
Really?
I
never did it laying down.
It makes a huge difference.
We did a lot of laying.
I know a lot of the stuff we do is hokey and it's like, that doesn't really work, this really works. It does. You'll be able to, cause remember when we had the, lateral C-spine picture we were looking at the other day and the spinous processes were burnt out and nobody could really see them?
Yeah.
Even though that was a Xerox copy, that's why, but that's what really happens, and by using this, that will reduce that a lot. Cause the scatters that's created here is not gonna come down and hit the spinous processes. It's gonna hit this and be absorbed. Happy hit?